Lumix have reputation, for a good reason, to make video-centric cameras. S1R2 kind of falls into that category as well with its 8K video, and it is a video powerhouse. But in my opinion, this is probably the best photo camera you can buy right now. First impressions, this camera kind of looks like S5II, S5IIX. It is very similar externally. There's a few little differences, and the size is very similar. It feels really good in hand. It's properly built, feels like a pro camera. The first impression, the first feeling that this is a different camera, different class camera, is the viewfinder. This viewfinder is absolutely excellent. You can tell the difference instantly, that it's brighter, it's sharper, and it's a pleasure to use. The flip screen, which tilts and flips out and tilts only, these little things make this camera a step higher or step further than S5II, S5IIX. It feels like a camera made for photography more than for video, in my opinion. What makes a camera a photo camera first? In this instance, is the sensor, 44.3 million pixel sensor, which kind of speaks for itself, high resolution. Also, there's many other things. With a high resolution sensor, there's usually more ISO noise, usually. Here actually noise is very well under control, not unusual or more than with any other camera. Dynamic range, given if you shoot RAW, you do have a crazy amount of dynamic range available. I have to say the Panasonic colors, they really stand out. If you want to do minimal editing or no editing at all, this camera can deliver outstanding results. You do have also the 177 million pixel handheld high resolution mode. You do have a pre-burst shooting, so you can half press the button to pre-capture before you fully press it, so you don't miss the wildlife or sports, for example. You do have focus stacking when the focus moves across the frame to get a less shallow depth of field in the macro photography, for example. There's a lot of benefits or a lot of features that makes this camera a better photo camera than a video camera. Of course, the big one with Panasonic is the IBIS, the stabilization. Here is way above average in any other brand of cameras. This allows you to shoot photos with a way slower shutter speeds, handheld, than normally or physically possible. This high resolution sensor, the 44.3 million pixels, seemingly the first impression really is great for printing. However, I don't remember last time I printed anything. For me, this is great for straightening the photos, recropping or reframing. Especially great when shooting architecture, for example, when you can get buildings perfectly straight, and great for macro or wildlife photography when you can't get super close to your subject. You can crop here and you still get a high resolution image. And when talking about cropping, I got to love this built-in 65:24 internal crop. Obviously, when you shoot RAW, that really doesn't matter because you can remove it or recrop anyway. But when shooting, it gives you this narrow field of view. Even when you don't have a wide-angle lens, it gives you kind of wide-angle-ish look. This is based on Fuji-owned format X-Pan, when analog camera used to take one photo across two 35mm frames, creating this very narrow image. This has been in Lumix cameras for a while. It has never bothered me before, but I kind of like it. It makes you think differently. It makes you think differently how you frame the image to get that wide-angle look. Using this camera for photography, it's absolute joy. It's just something special. It's not just how it feels in your hands and ergonomics, it's the images it delivers, of course. A lot of cameras in this price range, of course they are all good, because it's hard to get a camera this expensive which doesn't perform. But there's something about Lumix Panasonic cameras. Firstly, for me personally, is that nobody actually shouts about how good these cameras are for photography. It's a less known brand. Obviously, you got Canons and Sonys and Nikons and those major brands people associate with photography and professional photographers. They seem like a professional tool for video. That's what I hear online and everywhere I talk to people about this. But the truth is, the reality is, this camera particularly is excellent tool for photography, which does job extremely well, and you would satisfy easily any professional for any type of photography. It's one of the best hybrid cameras right now, not only for professional amazing photography, but obviously it is Lumix, so you do have all those video tools, and it is a very, very capable video camera too. Obviously, one question everyone wants an answer to: how is the autofocus performing? In this class, in this price of the camera, obviously we have to compare it to Sony, to Canon, to Nikon, to top of the range cameras. And here, from my experience using all these brands, this is performing very well. This is the best Lumix have ever made. They kind of fixed the focus, the problems with the focus they had with the S5II over 2 years ago, but here they took it to another level. More options, more ways to get that autofocus, nail the subject you're photographing. Also here, to get the best out of it, you do have to learn. There's a lot of options, and if you use the right correct option, correct tool, autofocusing tool for the right job, you get absolutely outstanding performance nobody can't complain about. A lot of people don't like editing their photos or videos. They like the look the camera can provide. Fuji is known for that, for the film looks straight from the camera, JPEG look. Here, Lumix, what Lumix have done is way better in my opinion. This is called real-time LUT, and here you can actually apply the LUT, the color profile, directly in camera to the pictures and videos, like with Fuji. But here you got way more control over it. Not only you can tweak it in the camera, but you can actually create your own looks through Lumix Lab app, and you can create your own on the computer, on the editing software, and add to the camera to get that instant look in the camera, like I'm getting it right now. I need to talk about the price. This is not cheap camera. £3,000 in UK or $3,300 in US. It's not spur of the moment purchase. You have to know why you're buying it and what for to justify this price. Is it cheaper than all the competition? It's cheaper than Sony and Canon, about the same price as equivalent Nikon. We're talking about the R5, we're talking about the R5 II or Z8, the competition. But this camera, unlike the others, offers way more than just the photography. Yes, I'm talking about the photography. This camera is good for photography, and it is, but it also has got all these amazing video features, which the other brands, they do video as well, but they can't compete with what Lumix offers in this camera. So value for money, I think it's a very good value for money for the camera with the hybrid spec as this. This is way more than your standard camera in this class because the video features. But photography, amazing colors, amazing quality, very much worth the price tag. Let's talk about lenses. Obviously, Lumix produce good range of lenses, including this new 24 to 60mm f2.8, which is absolutely incredible for this camera or any camera. It's a very universal standard lens. They do also have a nice set of primes, affordable primes. They do have some nice zooms and the Pro line. But let's not forget Sigma. Sigma is the main member of L Mount Alliance, and they do produce every kind of lens you could ever possibly need, from pro art lenses to contemporary mid-range to professional zooms. You get everything, and any of those lenses combined with this camera give you very wide range of options what you can shoot with Lumix camera. You're not limited. You don't believe the hype that Sony users do have more choice, lens choice. They do, but when you talk about quality and the camera this price and this quality, you don't have really that big range. You do have a very similar options as you do with this camera. If I was starting up today, would that be my camera choice or tool choice for my trade as a photographer, for a street portrait lifestyle photographer? Absolutely. This is a camera which kind of surprised me. I have been Lumix user for some time, but also a user of different brands. But this camera somehow stands out from the crowd. It stands out quality-wise. It stands out in what it represents. And also, it is a tool which can do a lot. It's a tool, versatile tool, which is more than good enough for any kind of professional work in my field of photography. Is it good enough for events and weddings, for example? I think so. If it's used right, the autofocusing mode is used right, it definitely, I don't think it would be worse than any other camera on the market right now in this price range. I knew it's a good camera before I started shooting with it, but I didn't know how it's gonna make me feel when I start using it. And for that, it's a very special camera, and I hope this is the #1 camera for a long time to come for me. Highly recommend it. Thank you for watching. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment, all that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.